Magis 2016 is the Jesuit program related to World Youth Day that will be held in Krakow during the last week of July 2016.
Magis is a Latin word that can be translated as more or better. The founder of the Jesuits, St. Ignatius of Loyola, used this term to indicate the dynamism of the Christian life. In his famous spiritual exercises, we can find an incentive to ask for an in-depth knowledge of the Lord who became a man for me, so that I could love him more and better follow in his footsteps. In friendship with God and in service to our neighbours, there is always some sort of magis, that is to say, something more, to discover and to do. The programme, from its very name, Magis 2016, is rooted in Ignatian spirituality.
World Youth Day and Magis take place in the second half of July 2016. World Youth Day in Krakow will be held between the 26th and the 31st of July. Magis 2016 will start 11 days earlier and is for young people associated with the Jesuits and the tradition of Ignatian spirituality.
Magis has its own tradition which has grown up around World Youth Day. The first World Youth Day was held in Rome in 1985, and Jesuits began to gather their own groups of young people together for an experience of Ignatian spirituality and social engagement. In 1997, at World Youth Day in Paris, French Jesuits organised an Ignatian walking pilgrimage, and in the Jubilee year of 2000, similar walking pilgrimages converged simultaneously on Rome. The current structure of Magis came out of World Youth Day Cologne in 2005. Some preparation time as a group, with groups going off for experiments, activities from social engagement to spirituality, before coming together again for a celebration with the Pope. Since 2005, Magis has taken place in Sydney, Madrid and Rio de Janeiro. When Pope Francis announced that the next World Youth Day would be in Krakow, Polish Jesuits took on the task of organising Magis 2016.
The opening meeting of Magis 2016 will be held in Łódź between the 15th and 17th of July. At this meeting, the Superior General of the Jesuits, Father Adolfo Nicolas, will introduce participants to the most important parts of the Magis program, the Ignatian experiments. These experiments will last for 5 days and will take place in different parts of Poland, Lithuania, Slovakia and the Czech Republic. Between the 23rd and 25th of July, all participants of Magis 2016 will gather again in Częstochowa to share their experiences of the experiments and visit the shrine of Our Lady of Częstochowa. Participants then head on to Krakow to take part in World Youth Day. At this point, it's best to mention that although the programme will be conducted in English, a knowledge of English is not a prerequisite for participation in Magis 2016.
The Latin word experimentum can be translated as experience, examination, or trial. The experiments that young people participate in during Magis 2016 are inspired by the experiences of St. Ignatius of Loyola and will be rooted in the Ignatian tradition. After his conversion, during a period where St. Ignatius grew in his faith, he undertook a number of what seemed to us as rather unusual activities. For a long time he lived alone in silence, and it was during this period that he wrote his now famous spiritual exercises. But his life wasn't just one of silent meditation and contemplation. He also visited the sick, made pilgrimages, and taught children. All of these challenges led him to a better understanding of God and himself. When founding the Jesuits, he wanted each and every member of the society to be tried in a similar way. That is why the Jesuits experience, in the first years of their formation, long and intense periods of both silent and prayerful retreat, as well as apostolic work in schools, parishes, prisons and hospitals. In these experiments, each Jesuit in formation receives something of the same experience as St. Ignatius.
Just as the experiments undertaken by Jesuits in formation give them something of the same experience as St. Ignatius, so the experiments of Magis 2016 will give participants the chance to share something of the spiritual life of St. Ignatius and the Jesuits. In Łódź, Magis 2016 participants will be divided into groups of 25, and in each group there will be participants from 3 or 4 different countries. On Sunday the 17th of July, participants will travel to the different experiments, where for the next 5 days, from Monday the 18th until Friday the 22nd of July, participants will work and pray together. On Saturday the 23rd of July, everyone will come back together again at Czestochowa to reflect on and give thanks for their experiences.
There are 5 different types or categories of experiments. The pilgrimage experiments will help participants to explore their relationship with God on the way or on a journey. Travelling on foot, bike, by canoe or boat, participants will learn to deal with a variety of weather conditions, how to rely on the kindness of people they encounter on the way, and, by reflecting on the changing environment around them, discover lasting spiritual values.
In the spiritual experiments, the emphasis falls entirely on spiritual growth, and participants explore something of the different spiritual traditions in Christianity through a life of prayer and work.
In the experiments of service, participants explore the idea that it is more blessed to give than to receive. Through work in a number of different projects that help those in need, participants will discover that every human life, no matter how fragile, is of inalienable value. Through ecological experiments, participants will work on projects to help develop the local environment, or to remove the damage caused to it by humanity. This will help the participants to appreciate the value of the natural world and the importance of our stewardship of the world's resources.
During the socio-cultural experiments, young people will get to know something more about the cultural, social, or religious life of a particular community living in Poland. This meeting of cultures will help them to discover something more about the lives of others, but also help them to reflect more deeply on their own culture, as well as the wealth and riches that flow from diversity and the unity that all can find in God.
In the artistic experiments, young people under the guidance of artists will engage in creative work such as painting, writing, playing music, dancing, acting, and writing icons. They will have the opportunity to see how art communicates spiritual values.
Each day will be rooted in prayer, with each morning beginning with morning prayer. Young people will engage in various activities, and accompanied by a Jesuit priest, they will join together to celebrate the Eucharist. In the evenings, each group will meet in their Magis circles, a time for sharing the experiences of the day just gone. Participants will also be introduced to the Ignatian Examen prayer, which will form the personal prayer for the end of each day, helping them to explore and enjoy the closeness of God in everyday life.
Magis 2016 is aimed at people aged 18 to 30, coming from Jesuit and Ignatian parishes, schools or pastoral groups. This is a worldwide program, and we are expecting around 2,000 participants from around 50 different countries.
At this stage of the preparation for Magis 2016, we are asking for 2 types of help and support. First of all, we ask everyone to pray for this program, so that it can be rooted in the life of God. We are asking you to pray particularly for participants, that they can come to experience friendship with God in a new, deeper and more profound way, and also for our benefactors, that they too may know something of the closeness of God. We'd also ask you to pray for the organisers of Magis 2016, that they will continue the tasks of organising this event with enthusiasm and patience. Secondly, we're asking whether you would consider making a financial contribution to the work of Magis 2016 to help with the cost of putting on such a large and varied programme.
We invite you to visit our website and our Facebook page. You can also send us an email or contact us by telephone.
Thank you for watching. God bless you.